Hello again, just coming in as an after credit scene, separate from the main video. What do you think? Am I right? Am I overthinking or overlooking something? I couldn't touch on everything, just the main issues as I see them. I'm hoping that by ending the main video with an appeal to Americans, it may make them feel special enough that they might do something. It's a psychological trick, but the insidious thing about psychological tricks is that they can work, even when you know the trick. But this part is about me and me asking for your help, which is something I struggle to do. I'm not comfortable asking people for their help or their time or any energy for my personal benefit, but I'm not sure what to do. My goal has been to run for federal government as an independent, but I've had to do everything alone with no money and no support, and I've failed to even get on the ballot. Twice. Even though my goal was running as an independent, I recognize that the long-term change I want to bring will require the support of a party. But which one? The only parties that form government are the cowards and collaborators. The Liberals are antithetical to my beliefs, and Labour has a built-in mechanism to prevent change, the pledge. To join Labour, you have to sign a pledge to vote the party line in all matters except trade. If you can't change the policies made behind closed doors, you can't change them in Parliament. Fatima Payman is an example of what happens when you try. She crossed the floor to vote her conscience, and Labour kicked her out. Now, I am ideologically most aligned with the Greens, and they have good policies, but they are terrible at marketing themselves and framing their approach to the issues that matter to people. They play to their own base really well, which is vitally important, but that keeps them from ever effectively expanding their base, which you need to win elections and form government. So I'm asking for suggestions, recommendations for what I can do, because I don't have the answers to everything. I've been living on Centrelink poverty as a full-time student and will soon need to find paying work, which has me concerned. I've worked regular jobs before and ended up feeling trapped where I was. That led me to having a mental breakdown, and while I have recovered, once your mind has been to that dark place, it can always go back there. This is why I practice relapse prevention, but I'm worried that if I end up back in that trap, I might not make it back out again. I've been thinking about continuing to make videos. There's a lot more I can talk about. I can explain what it is I mean when I say my goal is to save the world. There's almost limitless topics to be addressed. I didn't even mention AI. That's an apocalypse trigger point right there. Oh, by the way, don't like my screen transitions? Well, that's too fucking bad because I'm a shitty artist and I refuse to use AI. There's also far greater details I can go into with the things I've already discussed. I've even thought about maybe starting a podcast like every other person on the planet. With politics, though, we're years away from another election, but I want this to be what I do. This has been my purpose. It's helped me recover from depression. It's something I can devote the rest of my life to. Now, I know I'm not a perfect candidate. I'm a shy introvert whose goal requires becoming a public figure, so success is almost as scary to me as failure. I know there are people who will want my policies found on my website, link in description, but they will prefer they come from someone more diverse, which is why part of my brand is that I'm willing to be the villain, not just to people who want fewer white men in government, but to the industries that don't want regulation, to the corporations that don't want to pay taxes, to the politicians who don't want to close the revolving door of corruption, to the colony managers who would rather follow another nation than lead their own. I'm not trying to be anyone's hero. I want to be their villain. On my journey so far, I've met people who I think would be far better candidates than me. What separates us, though, is my willingness and desire to do it. This is what I want to do, but is it something you want? Will people support it? The kind of change I want to bring will essentially require a cultural revolution. And that's going to happen one way or another, but which way would you rather it go? I've already committed years of my life. I've put myself in about $50,000 of student debt. I'm doing my best to work towards it. I'm just not sure how. Where to from here? How do you do anything with no money? How do you make money in capitalism without exploiting other people or allowing yourself to be exploited? I don't have the family connections or party affiliations that gets me into those circles, nor do I even have accomplishments they would value. Poverty is an economic asset, not a social one. If you have any ideas, I would love to hear them. If you can help, that's great. If not, then maybe share this. Expand the audience, extend its reach. That's more helpful than you may realize. Clip things if you want. I don't know how, or even if I have to enable it or not. I'm reaching the limits of my ability to keep up. The digital natives will know how. You have my permission. Although, if all you do is take the time to listen, then I appreciate that too. Thank you, and I thank you for your time.